All right. So I thought this was recording, but it's not. Anyways, you've probably heard about this by now, but the Switch 2 is coming out later this year, and I'm not gonna support this. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm not gonna support this. For many reasons. It's just because one, like the fact that some games are only gonna be exclusive to the Switch 2, and I just have a feeling that like a lot of things. Can I have this on loop? No. Like honestly, I just feel like there's not gonna be that much of like a frame rate increase. Like the tweet under this, Marvel Rivals leaks in info saying, "OMG went from 3 to 4 FPS." It's hilarious, and that's probably all that it's gonna be. It's not gonna be like a crazy jump in frame rate. I could be wrong. I would love to be wrong, but I don't see that happening. And like it took way too long for them to make a Switch 2, since the Switch has been out since so the Switch has been out since 2017. March 3rd, 2017. Does not feel like it, but the Switch has been out for a really long time. And when it first came out, people liked it a lot because we had the Wii U, and the Wii U was not the greatest thing in the world, but for them to go from the Wii U to, well, no, we have 3DS actually. So we have the 3DS and then the Switch. People enjoyed that because the Switch offered a bunch of good games and stuff for it, and yada yada yada. So a lot of people bought it, and then probably for like the first couple of years, couple months maybe, you played it a lot, but then afterwards it or at least to me, because I bought my Switch like in 2018 or something. I don't remember. I know I bought it kind of late. So yeah, when I first got my Switch, that thing was literally just for Pokemon and Smash Brothers, and that was basically it. The Switch introduced me to a lot of great games and stuff. Like I played Danganronpa on there. I played SMT5 on there. The base one, not Vengeance. Astro Chain, amazing game. Amazing game. Just should not have been made for the Switch because there were so many like frame rate drops and stuff. And I know it's because it was on the Switch. That's not the strongest console in the world, right? So I just think Astro Chain should have been put onto better stuff, but Nintendo wanted it to be a Switch exclusive, so what can you do? They had things like Octopath Traveler, which was amazing, by the way. If you've never played Octopath Traveler, you should. Amazing game. Until it eventually got ported to other stuff, but you get what I mean. Okay, being able to play your games portably is something amazing, especially like grade A games, like stuff like Monster Hunter, which introduced me to that as well. Like basically being able to play some games that would require you to play on console or on PC, and being able to play it portably, granted at like less frame rates and stuff, is amazing. It still is amazing that you can do that on a Switch. However, between 2017 and 2025, there's like the Steam Deck that is out, and there are like other variations of a Steam Deck out, to where you are basically able to play whatever you want on the Steam Deck for about the same amount, because the Switch 2 is $400 and a Steam Deck is like I think close to that same amount. Okay, there's nothing here. So it's about the same amount, and you would have a greater time just buying a Steam Deck instead of buying a Switch, instead of buying a Switch 2. Since at least with the Steam Deck, you know what you're getting. You're able to upgrade it however you want to. So let's say, for an example, you buy a Steam Deck and you buy the cheapest one, which is like I think 250 gigs. You buy that, I think 200. I think that one is like 350. So you buy that, and then later down the line, you want to install like a terabyte of memory. You can do that on a Steam Deck without having to like go. Well, okay, to do that is a lot, from what I've seen, because I have a Steam Deck and I haven't done that yet, but I do want to eventually. But you can do that, relatively easily as long as you're careful. With the Switch 2, basically, you can kind of do the same thing. You just have to buy a terabyte SD card, which, I mean, with the Steam Deck, it takes SD card. So you can also, basically, what I'm trying to say is you can have a device that will have 2 terabytes of space for all of your stuff, for your Steam games, your non-Steam games, whatever. And the only downside about a Steam Deck, which is something that I agree, the battery. The battery on a Steam Deck is awful. So, other than that, though, like, I would personally say just buy a Steam Deck if you're thinking about buying a Switch 2. Better time, you're able to do more on it, and you're not locked behind, you know, all the nonsense that you are with Nintendo. But that is literally just me. I had a point to make, but I kind of got lost in the sauce. Oh yeah, right. Another thing too is they're saying this, that some games are going to be compatible with the Steam Deck too. Like some some Switch games, like from the regular Switch, are going to be compatible with Switch 2's games with the Switch 2, but some may not be. And I don't know. I really don't like that, even though whenever a new console comes out, it's like that. But I don't know. Me personally, if it was anything else, I wouldn't be that upset. But for it being the Steam, oh my God, the Switch, I don't know. I just don't like that. I will say though, the Switch 2 does look nice. It does look really nice. I'll admit that. It looks really good. But I don't know if it's like $400 worth of nice. Because like I said, the Switch does have some great IPs. Like they got Xenoblade and some other stuff. But once again, I don't know if it's worth throwing down $400 when you can just buy like something else. And I feel like there's more I want to add on to this, but I really don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I guess this, like, the only way you will see me buying a Switch 2 is if my Switch that I have now breaks, or if like the frame rate on the Switch is crazier. Because if you own a Switch, you know how like iffy the frame rate for it is. Like there are times to where games do get a lot of lag from the frames being so bad, which is kind of just like, cool, man. I spent $400 on this, and you know, this game is running at 1 frame per second, and yeah, and I get the Switch isn't powerful. It's not a powerful console, but it's just like, man, dude, the idea of it being like a console game but handheld is amazing, but it's just like, you know, there are some things to where you got to sacrifice a lot for it, and I don't think that it's going to be that more powerful than the Switch one. It'll be more powerful, but it's not going to be like, you know, they're not going to start releasing. They're not going to like release Genshin Impact on the Switch 2 or Honkai Star Rail on the Switch 2, because that thing would explode. Okay, so I don't think that's going to happen. And if it does, for the love of God, do not, because literally you'll try to boot the game up and then it'll just, your Switch 2 will just explode. So if they do, yeah. But yeah, those are just my thoughts on the Switch 2. I'm not buying it personally. I imagine people who want a Switch, like who don't have a Switch, probably will buy this. And I mean, more power to you, but me personally, as it stands right now, I'm not going to, unless this Switch 2 is something crazy. And even if it is, I ain't buying this until like the holiday season. So with that being said, there goes my thoughts on the Switch 2. Are you gonna buy a Switch 2? Or are you gonna buy like a Steam Deck or something else? And yeah, Switch 2, yeehaw, electric boogaloo.